Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Nameless City and I will be lore dropping as well as talking about spoilers. So if you do care about those things, I highly recommend that you skip this video or come back to it after you complete chapter 7 of the story. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the very first thing I want to showcase is the Easter egg if you completed the base game, and when you were on chapter 7 you get an extra dialogue option. I'm going to show you guys what the Easter egg looks like and then explain what it actually means. So in case you didn't know, when you come to your quest menu over here, you can go to the Arcs Chronicles main story and you can jump to any chapter of any story that you want. So in our case, we're going to chapter 7 and we're going back to the Nameless City over here, and then we're going to click on Start Quest. And this will bring us exactly where we started in the Nameless City, where we first enter. And I'm gonna be skipping a lot of the cutscenes over here. So this is fine, this is fine. But before we get that Easter egg, if you select So Where Are We actually get a little bit of information on where exactly is the Nameless City. I'm gonna let the dialogue play out here.
I do not know the exact location, but I know we are in orbital space above Alpha. What do you mean, space?
What she means is that where we are right now is way up high among the stars we see when we look up into the night sky from Alpha.
Huh?
Alright, so here is where we get the third dialogue option. As you can see, come with it, isn't this place ... This only comes up if you've completed the base game because it actually gives you a flashback of what happened in the base game. So I'm going to click on this, but just keep in the back of your mind what they just said earlier. We are in space. We're in orbital space somewhere, and we are cloaked, all right? So anyway, I'm going to play this, and we're going to see the little Easter egg. So here we go. So we're looking around, we're like, and here's the flashback. Well, bam. You guys saw that? You saw the little split image over there? So now we're getting a little headache, and Aina's like, you okay, bro? And we're like, nah, we're kind of screwed. It doesn't matter which one you pick over here. You know, if you go that was, we don't get any extra dialogue. She just kind of looks at you weird. That's all, as you can see right here. She just kind of goes like, and then the dialogue continues and nothing else happens. All right, so we're going to skip all of that. All right, so now that you've seen the Easter egg, I'm going to explain what exactly it means. So over here is a screenshot of the Easter egg that I just showed you, the little flashback that you had. So, you know, you're like, okay, interesting. Why do we have this flashback? Well, we're going to enhance this image CIA style, as we can see right here. This is actually a screenshot directly taken from episode 5 of the base game. As you can see, it's exactly 1-to-1. So, as we know, this character is Matoi. Well, I guess if you've never played the base game, you wouldn't know who this character is, but she is Matoi. She's one of like your best friends. She's kind of your love interest. She's kind of like best waifu in the entire game. And yeah, she just follows you to the ends of the earth and she fights for you and with you and blah, blah, blah. But the thing that I want to point out over here is she is holding Clarissa. This rod, this weapon, is called Clarissa. However, the one that she's holding is a replica version, which is like a copy version of the actual Clarissa. The reason for this is because they lost the actual Clarissa. They couldn't find where Clarissa is. And yes, the rod does have a specific name. It's called Clarissa because it's quote-unquote sentient and it can talk to you. But the thing about Clarissa is it's considered one of the Genesis weapons. For the uninitiated, Genesis weapons are pretty much equal to like Archons in Genshin Impact or Aeons in Honkai Star Rail. They're literally like god tier weapons which can destroy or change the universe single-handedly. But remember, I said that this was a replica version of Clarissa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this giant orb behind us with all the disco lights is the actual Clarissa. This is the original Clarissa that disappeared and suddenly reappeared for who knows what reason. So this is super interesting because Clarissa, this legendary weapon, has a very unique trait where it can absorb negative photons or bad photons and convert them into good photons. However, in order for it to actually do that, it comes at a cost. All of these Genesis weapons are two-edged blades, and where there's always a negative trade-off for all of this power. And with Clarissa's ability to turn negative photons into positive photons, the negative photons need to go somewhere, and they go into the user. So in the base game, there was a case where we actually absorbed a ton of negative photons, and we were at the brink of corruption, because if you absorb too many negative photons, you get corrupted and you become a bad guy. That's the TLDR. But in order to avoid that, we were put into cryo sleep. And just by sleeping over a long period of time, the negative photons just evaporate and they disappear, and then we become good again. So with this knowledge that we've been put into cryo sleep multiple times throughout the base game, and there's also time travel involved in the base game as well, where we've gone back into the past to change things in order to fix things in the future, I'm not super surprised that when we completed chapter 7, you know, Zveto kind of dropped a bombshell on us and was like, you know, the original 909 is still in its pod, so who are you? So, you know, he drops a huge bombshell on us, and we're all kind of like, wait a second, are we actually playing our original character in the base game? And in my personal opinion, I think we are. I think we're still playing the original character that was 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago or how many hundred years ago. You know, we're still playing the exact same character because we were put into cryo sleep. And so when the Starless attacked us, we were still sleeping, we didn't know what was going on. And so when we woke up, we were just like, oh, what on earth is happening? You know, maybe we slept way too long and we got memory loss or something. So when we landed on planet Helpha, we didn't know what the heck was going on, and our combat ability did degrade over time, and so we had to build it back up. But now I want to talk about the residential area, or the Nameless City itself, and what it actually means. As I showed you guys earlier in the cutscene, we are currently in space. We can clearly see that we're in space. You know, here's blue skies, and then right here there's a giant cut in the sky, and it's just space right here. All right, you can see it all around. It gathers all around the entire arena. There's just this void of space, right? So what exactly is my hypothesis over here? I think we are still on the Oracle ship. So we created Planet Helpha, or well, the Resurgent Arcs created Planet Helpha as a simulation, right? So that was just its own little planet. We go there, we train, blah, 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 blah. But where the actual Resurgent Arcs were living, they were still living on the Oracle fleet, or our spaceship that we're currently on. And this very specific spaceship seems to be the exact same one that we were on in the base game. For those who've never played the base game, our general hub area is the Oracle fleet, or the spaceship that we're on. And because our central hub was a spaceship, we were able to travel to different planets and just jump down an orbital strike, just like in Helldivers and stuff like that, and liberate different planets. So, you know, it was all good and dandy. However, when we were introduced into NGS, we were told that the Starless came along and killed the entire Oracle fleet and killed everyone, and there was no one left alive, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think that was the case with this specific spaceship. I think that our Oracle fleet, the one that we were in the base game, is like the sole survivor, and that we are currently still on it. This residential area, it just so happened, you know, in episode 5 of the base game, we were here as well because we were under attack by false spawn and other stuff, and so we needed to repel them and fight them off. So that is my theory. My theory is, this is the Oracle fleet. We're currently on the Oracle fleet. We are the exact same Guardian from 1,000 years ago. We're not the clone. We are the actual originals. However, this begs the question of the whole 909 thing. So, you know, who exactly is 909? From what we've been told is it's clones of us. You know, we're the original, we're the Guardian, and 909 is just our strand of DNA, and whatever clones that are coming out from our strand of DNA is all called 909 from, you know, the first generation, second generation, so forth and so on. That is my understanding of the whole 909 clone situation. The only thing that I'm a little bit confused is Gora was a 909 clone from my understanding, from like the second generation or third generation. And then we have Aina, which is Gora's offspring from my understanding again. But if Aina was born on planet Helpha, that means that she must have a mother, right? So does that mean maybe they not only found our gene, but they also found Matoi's gene? And maybe there's a Matoi clone out there, which is why Zveto thinks that Aina is so special. Or maybe Matoi, the original one, also went into cryo sleep with us, because that would be 100% believable, because, you know, she literally did everything for us in the base game. She was like, you need protection, I got you. You need this, I got you. She did everything. She followed you to the ends of the earth, to hell and back, which was actually pretty amazing. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Matoi was actually still alive and she went into cryo sleep with you, and maybe she was the one that woke you up from your pod and launched you down because the Starless was attacking or something, who knows. And the big question I have now is, if Matoi is actually around, Clarissa's right here. Clarissa is sentient. Clarissa can talk to people, and it's a giant rod right here. So why is Clarissa here? And second of all, if Matoi is alive and well, where is she? And you know, if Aina is like the Matoi's clone, or like has a little bit of Matoi's DNA in her, then she would be able to wield Clarissa, and she would be able to use this weapon to absolutely obliterate the Starless. So there's still a lot of questions to be asked, but at the very least, hopefully by this explanation, now you guys know that the Nameless City is on the Oracle fleet. We're on a spaceship. We can already go out into space since we are technically in space already, which is why in my previous videos I was like, I think this might become our new ship, you know, our new hub. We might be chilling in the Nameless City from now on. Because if I open up the map over here, you can see this chunk right here is all empty. So row G and row H is all empty. So now we're currently at the edge of the map, and as you can see, this looks very, very familiar. Doesn't this kind of remind you of Central City? We spawn over here, the shops are over here at the sides, and then this is Central Tower or Central Cannon. It looks very, very familiar. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to become our new hub when we eventually graduate from planet Alpha. We all hop onto the spaceship, we blast off into other planets, and then we go liberate and for democracy and liberty and stuff like that onto all the other planets in order to save them from themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happens and this becomes our new hub. However, I do feel like if they did that, that would be a kind of a waste of all of the assets in planet Alpha. But who knows, maybe they've got a new planet in the works, which I highly doubt. I don't think they're going to go that route anymore. I feel like NGS is probably going to go back to its roots, where it's like we have a general hub area and then we go off to different dungeons and different biomes and stuff like that, just like the base game. We probably are going to get that type of format again if we return to the spaceship or the Oracle fleet itself.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.